What's up, everybody? We are here at the hardware store in Fayetteville. Toro sent yet another more, I know, disclosure, free product. Here we go again. But here at the hardware store with Michael, the manager here, who knows a lot more about mowers in general than I do. So I just figured it'd be really cool to have him kind of walk us through all the specs on the Toro Titan, 2021 Toro Titan Max, which is, I guess you don't really need to say 2021 because this is the only year they've had a Titan. The first year, yeah, they had a Titan Max. So anyway, just kind of want to get into it, let you tell us about the mower and just show off all the features. So I can interject a little bit of feedback on what's different about this from the 2020 Titan, because that's what I had before this one. But for the most part, I'm just going to let Michael take it away. So tell us about this beast, Michael.
Okay, so like you said, this is the brand new 2021 Titan Max mower. It is a 60-inch cut with their IronForged deck on it, which means that it's a fully fabricated deck. If I remember correctly, the Titan that you had was the same style deck, just a 54 rather than a 60-inch. So you'll be getting a little bit of space on this one. This is their commercially rated deck. This is the machine they put on their Z Master series, which is their top of the line series. So it's strong, it's durable, you don't have to worry about rocks bending it, anything like that. It also has their brand new aluminum spindles inside of it, which are nice, beefy, steel roller ball bearing spindles in it that are nice, strong, can withstand the durability of being a commercially rated machine at all times. So they're lighter weight, but they're stronger at the same time. Also, the whole frame that this one was designed and built off of was actually off of the Z Master 2000 series frame. So it is started with the commercial, and then they've just taken it and just kind of not really dumbed it down, but just kind of taken some of those components off of this full-blown Z Master series to make it the Titan Max that it is today. So you're getting the construction and build quality of their Z Master series on just a little bit smaller of a platform, so you don't have to go crazy buying that big Z Master mower. You can get something like this and be fun with it.
So they categorize these, I guess, in the homeowner line of mowers.
Yeah.
There's the Titan Master.
Yep.
And the Titan.
Yep.
Titan technically is one of their homeowner mowers, right?
That's correct. It's what I call a prosumer mower.
Okay.
So it's not a homeowner, it's not a full-blown commercial mower. It's somewhere in between. It's for that guy who's got 4 or 5 acres that doesn't want to spend the money on Z Master, but wants that build quality to make it last, and he can just abuse it if he wants to, and it will last for a long, long time. So that's kind of the market space they're shooting it in. Big homeowners. I've seen some ranchers that bought this from around here. They want a good, strong machine for mowing around their, acre, 2 acres around their house. They don't use it for the fields, but they use it around their house because they have so much.
Right.
And that's kind of the thing why they went with the 60-inch deck on this model, was because of that larger cut down on that time that they're having to mow those couple acres at a time.
Is the largest Titan, so not Titan Max, the largest Titan is 54-inch?
54.
Okay, so like 54, okay.
Yep.
And then so 2020, did they have a 60-inch?
Yes. They had a 60-inch Titan.
Gotcha.
They just didn't call it the Max.
Okay.
And this year, they kind of made the 60-inch, the biggest Titan, and they called the Max.
Gotcha.
Is what they've gone to. So what they've done, like I said, beefed up the frame, larger motor as well. This does have a larger Kohler engine on it, so it's a stronger engine than what you had on yours. Partly due to you are adding that larger deck. These also have larger hydro pumps and transaxles underneath it. So stronger drivetrains, so you don't have to worry about them slipping or losing power or anything like that. So on the new Kohler engines, they do have a nicer round style canister filter. It's a fully commercially rated filter, so you have a pre-filter as well, and then a media underneath the filter to stop a lot more. The pre-filter is actually going to be, your large debris that you see, your grass clippings, your leaves, things like that will build up before you actually start getting into the pleating or anything like that. And so the great thing about how this is all the air fully comes up and then swirls around inside of here before it actually gets into the air filter. That way some of that larger debris, things like that, will actually be dispersed out before packing around your air filter and things like that. So it's actually a little nicer feature. A lot of the commercial mowers have that feature. A lot of the commercially rated engines have that feature on it as well, to make sure serviceability and life of the engine is actually a lot longer than some of your other engines that for home use and things like that. Also, this year they upgraded the tires on this thing.
Yeah.
These things are massive compared to what you had on yours.
Yeah, these things are beastly.
Yeah, so they're a wider stance. So you don't have to worry about hills or anything like that. You can be on the grade and not have to worry about slipping or anything like that. Got that wide tire on there so you get plenty of traction, even in kind of slip conditions, things like that. Also, it gives you a little bit more ride comfort if you have that larger tire under there, more air cushion underneath you so you're not being hit around so much and things like that. Also, I don't think yours had rocks on it, did it?
Not.
So these are their kind of their new rocks. They've gone to a square rock this year instead of a round rock that they've had for the past couple of years. You can lower them down. There are a couple of points where you can lower them down at different angles, things like that. For safety reasons, make sure to ride with them up if all possible. That way you don't get hurt or injured or anything like that while riding on the mower. But another kind of one of those features that's not on your time master, or your time cutters, or your kind of your other Titans. These are those Z-Master kind of features for that creature comfort and everything like that. You know, like I said, this is a commercially rated mower, but they do still give you those creature comfort features of having, you know, your cup holder, place for your cell phone, things like that. It also has, if you kind of notice on the side there, those little holes.
Yeah.
You can actually bolt up different attachments to that. So
yeah.
they have a blower rack that you can bolt to it, a trimmer rack that you can bolt to it, and then a bucket or a universal kit that you can bolt to it. So if you, let's say that you do have a couple acres like you do out past your house, but you want to trim and you want to blow around that tree, you can actually put your trimmer on there, put your blower on there, and ride this whole unit down to that property, and you don't have to walk back and forth or drive back and forth.
I like that for sure.
So that's kind of something that they did transition down the line as well, kind of that easeability for homeowners so they have their whole equipment. If they have to go an acre or two off to the end of their land or something like that, they can take all their equipment with it. Also, you can bolt up if you wanted to a cover. So if you want to stay out of the heat, everything like that, they do have a cover that they made last year that will work on these rocks as well.
So that is actually very interesting to me. I might have to mod this thing out. And I love that you're talking about racks. That's amazing because I have a fence out by the road that's not near my house. And so being able to take a weed eater on the side of the mower, what I've been doing is just like resting it on my legs, resting it across here, and it's falling off. So that's going to be awesome. That's a game changer.
Yeah, so that's kind of a really nice feature that they added as well. Also on yours, I think they had smaller front tires on it as well. So these are actually front casters as well on there. It's another kind of, they transitioned that from their G-Master series again, just durability-wise is why they're doing most of it. To stand up to that abuse that it's put through day in, day out and everything like that. So, but yeah, I mean, most of this, it looks very similar to yours, just a little bit bigger. It's pretty much the only difference between it. The seat, I think, is a little upgraded as well.
The seat is better than what I had. That, of course, like you said, it's the commercially rated, and I think that's like basically where the seatbelt comes from.
Because the seatbelt comes from the rocks. So for safety reasons, if you're on the machine with the rocks up, wear the seatbelt. That way, if it rolls over, you're not falling out getting trapped in the machine. If the rocks are down, no seatbelt. That's just a safety procedure. Seatbelt comes with any set of rocks that you get for that safety. So if it does roll over, you're not falling out of the seat or anything like that, getting crushed by the rocks.
Makes sense. So I was when you footrest, I don't even know what you call this. Is different. It's a little bit smaller. I do like this rubber mat here is smaller and it seems like it's actually attached.
It is. There's metal slots that are attaching it. On a lot of the time cutters, you can get the mat like that, but they're not attached like this. It's attached like that so that when you need to get to your belts and things like that, you're not losing the rubber mat or anything like that.
That is really cool. Because cleaning anything out in here.
Cleaning, installing belts, anything like that, you have to pull this off to get to that center pulley and the idler and everything like that. So that's why they had to attach it. So that way you don't have to worry about it falling off, losing it, anything like that. Like I said, it's a commercial rated machine. You may have to be doing that in the middle of the field somewhere because you popped the belt off. If you did that wasn't attached, you threw that off, you may lose that matter, or you'll find it a little bit later down the way while you're mowing.
That's cool. That's really cool. Gas tank, the same? Is like that neck on the other one?
This one is actually, it's slung underneath. Your gas tank actually neck comes down, and your actual gas tank is actually underneath the seat. It's a lower center of gravity, so you're actually containing the weight down lower, again, for rollover protection and things like that.
Same instruction for filling, I guess, because the last one there was a certain point where you fill it too high, it was going to drain into something.
So, gotta love the state of California and the EPA. There is a emissions canister or a charcoal canister on these. Fill it up too high, it bleeds through the check valve back into the carbon canister, kills the carbon canister, and that's like a $90 part. So it also messed up the running of the engine because it's restricting airflow through and fuel flow through the system as well.
So the instruction is just to not fill it up to how high? Like what's the...
There's actually a line on there, and this year I think they actually put the sticker, you can actually see, don't come up past the neck. See where it starts kind of tapering upward, kind of like in the picture here?
Okay.
Tapering out, stop there. So this guy right here, I know the camera can't see it,
Yeah.
but that little guy, that's your check valve. You fill it up too far, it goes into there, it leads it through the whole system.
Gotcha. So even like this heat gas, it's not going to go into that.
As long as you don't get it up past that point. They say to leave it a little bit lower just for splashing reasons or anything like that.
Gotcha.
I don't know if you're having a down system for the pin level?
Yes, same, yeah, I was going to say, it looks a little different, but it's effectively the same.
It's a little bit higher, a little bit wider, as well as I think a little bit of a lower cut too. This one goes all the way down to an inch. I can't remember on yours if it went down to an inch. I was thinking of like 1 3/4 or almost.
Man, this is going to make life so much easier. So basically, I think on here it shows we go down to 1.5 inches, but if you just take the pin all the way out, is that what?
So yeah, if you wanted an inch, you drop it all the way without the pin.
We were talking about this before the camera started rolling. The MyRide suspension system does not come on the Titan Max, so it's still an option on all the other Titan mowers.
On the other ones, yes. The smaller mowers, you can get that MyRide feature. The Max, this is how you get it if you get a Max. There is no more options. There's nothing except for the accessories you bolt onto it. That's the only difference.
This looks new to me.
That is the top travel position lock. So as you see right now, you're actually locked in a top travel position. If you put your foot on the pedal, push forward and pull up on that, and now let your foot down, that actually lets you drop, raise and lower your deck. Right. And now if you push the pedal all the way forward, it's going to lock it in a top travel position so you don't have to hold it or anything like that.
Oh, that's new. That's cool. Yeah, instead of having to even put over here, I can just lock it and go.
You can lock it and go. It locks it in that full 5.5 or 5 3/4 inch size. For driving around. Again, Z-Master feature that they brought down the line to make more creature comfort features, things like that.
Yeah, that's cool. Something interesting from the other mower, I just remember reading in the manual, and it might be on the, what is it, Kawasaki motors or which motor? So you're supposed to leave it full throttle when you shut it off. Or is that a Kohler?
90% of the time on all new engines, kill it at full throttle. Because the reason that is because how it shuts it off is actually kills fuel flow through the carburetor through a solenoid shutoff. So when you turn that key, it's actually pushing the solenoid up, killing full fuel flow. If you idle it down, you'll still have lots of fuel set up inside the carb internally. So next time when you start it, it's going to suck that charge of fuel already in, and you might get a backfire or something like that. Okay. So if you ever see guys who idle them down when they start them up in the morning, next morning you hear a large bang, that's why. It's because there's still fuel set in some of those passageways because they idled it down before actually filling the motor.
Gotcha. Which is just something I think, I've talked to a couple people about it, and it's just something that's counterintuitive, not counterintuitive I guess, but a counter to what we've been taught. I guess growing up, for some reason, I was always taught, yeah, throttle it all the way down and shut it off. I don't know why that's the standard. That's just is that not a myth, maybe just a misinformed?
Well, it was, back then, they did not have fuel shutoffs on the solenoid. Solenoid shutoff on the carburetor. They were, as soon as you shut it off, all you're killing is spark. Now you're killing spark as well as fuel at the same time. So it's actually for emissions regulations, you don't have to worry about fuel sitting inside the cylinders or anything like that because it's fully shutting off any kind of fuel flow through the carburetor as soon as that key is turned on. So in the old days, yes, they would recommend idling it down, letting it run for a little while so that way you're getting as much fuel out of that carburetor as you can and then you're just killing spark and letting it die.
So someone who's like really old might tell you to throttle it down first, and so if you've seen that in an Alan Hayne video, that's why he's saying that.
Yep.
I think this is the same. Oh, no, that feels different.
That is the parking brake.
So that's the same spot, it just feels different.
It's going to be because it has different, like I said, transaxles underneath it, so it's different on how it locks those transaxles down and everything like that. So you'll get a little bit more, in my opinion, it's a little stiffer than on your model.
On the old one, so what I had to do was move it in and then drop it down. That's where this is just coming straight up and down, and it's locking in by itself. Which I agree with you, this is more stiff, but it has to be so that it locks in.
Yep.
Whereas my other one, it was actually a little bit annoying to have to push in and then down. I think that's how it was in and then down. Anyway, whichever direction. This is
You guys remember both
up and
about it.
down. Yeah, no, and I actually like that a lot too. So
another kind of thing I forgot to point out was the rubberized flap. So this is actually a rubberized flap, so you don't have to worry about catching it on anything. Say you're getting too close to the house by accident, you catch the curb, you don't have to worry about it snapping.
Yeah.
A lot of the time cutters have a hard plastic chute on there. So you catch it wrong, you're blowing that thing out, usually snaps right across. Right where it bolts in,
Yep.
it just snaps right off. So that's another kind of Z-Master feature that's kind of nice that they've added.
and that is really cool. That was on the 2020 Titan, and I utilized it, I guess is what we'll call that. Maybe abused it, I don't know. Sorry, Jake, that's just got some scratches on it now, because on the front right side of that thing, I know that for sure up against my house, if my car was too close to the garage door when I was pulling it out, I could just drive through that gap and that thing would just bend out of the way. And there was one other spot, I think, in my fence where I had a narrow section I had to go through, and every time I mowed that spot, I just wasn't worried about it. I just mowed, and that thing went up against the fence and just bent out of the way. And that's really, really cool, actually.
So as we were talking about before, this is the trimmer part of the triple threat kit that can actually mount to it. You have the back piece and the front piece. The front piece, if you notice, has kind of the U on top of it. That will actually fit around the front yoke of your mower there, holds the front of the trimmer, and then this one has multiple different mounting points depending on the length of your trimmer. You can mount it anywhere across these sets of holes, up or down, any way you need to. So it doesn't matter what brand trimmer you have. You can also configure this for holding curved shaft trimmers as well. As I have it right now, it is for straight shafts, but anybody can flip it around. It's very simple, couple bolts, and you can actually start having a curved shaft trimmer on there as well. Next, we have the bucket attachment. Holds a standard 5-gallon bucket. You can actually lock the bucket in using this piece. And this little guy right here, you can kind of see, it's made for actually holding your trash grabber. So you don't have to have your trash grabber laid across anything like that. It slides in, you lock it in so you don't have to lose it. Again, you can mount it on either side. Just bolts right up to the frame, just like that. Have your bucket there so that you can have a bucket grabbing the trash, things like that as you're going through your yard. Lastly, we have what they call the universal or the blower kit for it. You can put your backpack blower on here, your handheld blower on here. You can put anything else. It has a platform to set stuff on so that you can lock your blower in. There is also a strap that comes with it, so you can strap that blower down to make sure it doesn't move. And usually they recommend just bolting it right to the back. This is a universal kit, so that's why you notice some of the bracketry on here won't fit on there. You just have to pull that off and mount it to it however you need to.
Well, I am excited. This is amazing. Again, thank you, Toro. Thank you to the hardware store, and thank you to Michael for showing us around this mower. I'm ready to get this thing home. It's a little bit muddy today, and I probably shouldn't take it out and mow with it, but I think you all probably know what's actually going to happen. Anyway, I don't have that much grass to mow. Everything's dormant, but I'm going to find something to mow because I have some free time. So anyway, thank you, Michael. Thanks for giving us a tour of the mower, and I guess everybody just stay tuned because I'll definitely be showing you all the exciting stuff coming with this, really up in the trees. That area behind my house is going to be the main part of my yard that I'm going to be using this on. So anyway, thanks for tuning in. Thanks, Michael. Thanks, hardware store. We'll see you guys next time.